It's time for the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX. On your radio at AM 940 and online at mywithersradio.com. Recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the premier radio feature programs in the state. You're about to roam the region with more guests and content courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. Live from the Powerhouse, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
And good morning from the Powerhouse. Glad to have you with us another Saturday morning in studio on the Saturday Sports Show. It's all presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Loaded lineup coming your way this morning. It'll be a first of many basketball previews coming your way. Of course, we're not going to just talk basketball today. We have some high school football talk coming up, some high school volleyball talk as well here on the Saturday Sports Show. Basketball preview time, of course. Our basketball slate will get started next week with the WMIX Basketball Showcase. Busy week next week already, and it won't slow down anytime until March. Just the way we like it. Of course, we'll talk to some of our coaches here this morning. We'll talk to Rick Metcalf. He's the head coach of the Sesser-Valie Waltonville Lady Red Devils. We'll also talk to, among others, Andy Sloan, head coach of the Benton Rangerettes. We also have Travis Pinkston, head coach of the Weber Lady Trojans. DeAirdra Dagg, she's the head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians, also join us in hour number one. We'll talk with Trisha Draege, head coach of the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals, start our second hour. And then we'll talk to IHSA volleyball clinician Chris Kays. We'll talk some high school volleyball with him. He's up at the state finals this weekend. Jeffrey Draege, voice of the Harrisburg Bulldogs, will stop by. The Harrisburg Bulldogs, of course, against Alton Marquette today at home. That'll be a 2 o'clock start time in Harrisburg. We'll talk about that one. And then we'll also talk with TV3 sports director Darren Kinnard. Get his thoughts not only on the upcoming basketball season, some of the tournaments.
Been a while since.
Yeah, it has. Okay. A week off last week's kind of messed with my head.
Kind of out of your rusty a little bit.
Well, I was in political mode there for a while with the election coverage on Tuesday night. Now I'm slowly getting back into my sports mindset. It's like
slowly, my phone is going back in a normal set of not having 6 or 7 messages of hang-ups, voice recordings, or the 10 till 6 on election night. I get a phone call, won't say what party or who. 10 till 6. Remember, you got to get out and vote. 10 till 6. I'm just saying. You know,
all that aside, that's all said, that's all done, and of course high school basketball getting ready to get underway. Practices started for the girls a couple of weeks ago, the boys this past week, and we're about ready to go. Of course, our slate gets started on Monday night as we have the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals and the ZRC Co-op. That'll be at Sides Gymnasium, 6:15 your JV start. We'll be on the air on WMIX FM following the JV contest, and of course you can listen to that one online at mywithersradio.com. Then on Thursday night, we head to Wayne City. It's going to be a battle of Route 15 as the Weber Lady Trojans head to Wayne City to take on the Lady Indians. That'll be a 6 o'clock pregame on WMIX FM, online at mywithersradio.com. And then on Friday night, we'll head to Sparta as the Lady Devils are in action at the Sparta tournament. That'll be about a 7:15 pregame on WMIX FM. So that's next week. We'll keep our schedule online at mywithersradio.com. Actually need to get that on. There's some changes coming to our web presence over the course of the next couple of weeks. We'll have some new things to announce that we're pretty excited about, so you'll want to stay with us for that. Of course, you can always stay up to date with what we're doing on Twitter at WMIX Sports. You can also find us on Facebook as well. And, of course, we archive all of our local broadcasts on the current setup at mywithersradio.com. Things to change there. We'll keep you up to date and tell you about those as they happen. Not just basketball getting underway. Of course, we have wrestling, bowling, among others. Scholar Bowl goes strong all year round and things of that nature. But basketball really getting heated up, and we'll talk with some of your favorite coaches today. Of course, we'll also have your WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Posted on Facebook. So find us on Facebook and participate in the discussion. Are we ready to release this week's question?
It's on there. It's ready to go.
There we go.
Question is, I mean, you know, Thanksgiving. We got to do it in proper order because sometimes Thanksgiving gets overlooked. So we're going to shine the light on Thanksgiving next couple of weeks. So this week's question is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Something to ponder.
Well, it's dessert. If you want to put plural, you do it. But
you can have as many desserts as you want.
Right.
As many helpings.
Didn't say how many you want to have. I said, what's your favorite? So that eliminate a lot down to the singular, as they say.
I have no idea yet. Luckily, plenty of time to think about it. We're here till 10 o'clock on AM 940 online today at myweathersradio.com. And as we've told you time and time again, you can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We are on Facebook as well. Plenty to come your way this morning. And it's hard to believe that we were already to that point of the year that we're starting to talk about high school basketball, high school volleyball winding down. We're in the quarterfinal stage of high school football. 3 local teams, of course, in the quarterfinals, as in Class 4A. The Harrisburg Bulldogs host the Alton Marquette Explorers as they travel down to Saline County. That'll be a 2 o'clock matchup. In Class 2A, the DuQuoin Indians host, help me out,
Camp Point.
Camp Point Central South.
Which they just got on the bus.
It's like Camp Point Central Southeastern.
Well, here's the thing.
Like
and
there's like 18 different directions.
Okay, well, there's a direction, all right, because it's 4.5 hours from DuQuoin, northeast of Quincy. And when I MapQuested it earlier in the week, it said to go to Quincy, into Missouri, down to St. Louis, back across the river, down to DuQuoin. 4.5 hours. So they're leaving sometime today on 2 laners until they get down to St. Louis.
I know I wanted nothing to do with it. That game's at 1 o'clock.
Huh?
That game's at 1 o'clock today.
That game's at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock today. I had it in order. Carterville's at 1 o'clock today. They host Greenville. No. So there you go. And we cannot forget about the Altoff Crusaders as they actually host Casey Westfield in Class 2A tonight.
Yes,
that'll be at 7 o'clock at Lindenwood. And
there's one more.
What am I forgetting?
Well, there's a couple more that we're interested in.
I'm interested in quite a great deal. We have the bigger classes as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then
Glenwood and SHG, I believe.
That's at 1. People standing in line probably now to get in there. That'll be crazy up there in Springfield. Edwardsville makes that short trip up the Frankfort-Lincoln Way East. That's not to West Frankfort. That's to Chicago.
That's a
6 p.m. start. Contrary to popular belief, Casey Westfield agreed to play at 7 since when Lindenwood has a home game today. That was agreed upon by Casey Westfield.
Well, there was some discussion on that one as to why play at 7 o'clock and why couldn't they just find another site, but both schools did agree to the 7 o'clock start time in that one, and that'll be a good one under the lights at Lindenwood on the new turf, as Casey Westfield and Belleville Altoff will kick off at 7 p.m. tonight. So don't forget the DuQuoin Indians and Camp Point Central at 3 p.m. today. At 2 p.m. it's the Harrisburg Bulldogs and Alton Marquette Explorers. At 1 p.m. it is Carterville hosting Greenville, and that should be a good one. I think will be underrated. Can't wait to talk with TV3 Sports Director Darren Kinnard about all of those games and maybe see whom he thinks has the best chance to move on to the semifinals next week. As we wind all the way down, we're starting to get to that point where we go to Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll see those teams on the turf while we're really getting into high school basketball, as many of the boys' programs will get started the week of Thanksgiving and then the week following.
Let's see. I'm looking up Camp Point. I've looked at it.
I feel like we've seen them somewhere before.
I guess I'm looking here. They're the Panthers. They're in the West Central Conference. So I'll go that route. Yeah, they are 4.5 hours from here because it's a 2-laner all the way up to their fine school. I'm sure they are going to be wondering if they're ever going to get to DuQuoin today.
Who's Southeastern?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got to look this up because 20 years ago, Augusta Southeastern
That's what I was going to ask.
And Benton beat him 3rd place in 92. The Western Illinois Valley North consists of the Camp Point Central Co-op, Concord Triopia, that's a team you hear a lot about, and Mount Sterling Brown County. That's another one you hear about.
You do.
Yeah. Minden Unity, which is a co-op, Jacksonville Route, and the Jacksonville, Illinois School for the Deaf, also involved in this. Camp Point plays teams. They played Carrollton.
I know them.
Who went 10-1 this year, beat them. Minden Unity, Payson Co-op. That's another name that rings around. Whitehall North Green.
Oh, yeah.
That's another name. Hardin Calhoun.
Oh, wow.
Argenta Oriana. These teams you see on the list of wire service scores that you hear and see a lot about. That's who is in this conference.
Argenta's a solid wrestling school.
Yes. Solid. And then very small school. Their enrollment is 403. And
so about the size of Altoff.
About the size of, yeah, right. Altoff's size is grossly understated. So, let's see. I'll go back over here and look. It's an interesting little school, needless to say. Co-op, as I said, 400. Their actual enrollment is 262. Camp Point Central. Throw in the co-op, they go to 403. They're blue and gold, black and Vegas gold. Ooh.
Serious when you hear Vegas gold.
Serious when that happens.
That's serious business.
Let's look here. One more quick click. I don't know. Camp Point Central made the state baseball tournament in the late 70s. Not done much in basketball. Let's look football, obviously. Nothing. This is the furthest they went They went last year to this round. Got beaten around 10-1. Lost their first game of the year. So they've been to the quarterfinals the last 2 years. So an up and coming program.
And they'll take on Story Duquoin today. That'll be 3 o'clock. Indians hosting that one on the turf today. Of course, plenty more of that to come. That'll be in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll discuss more about the high school football quarterfinals today. We need to talk some girls basketball. Many teams getting started next week. Our first guest will be Rick Metcalf. He is the head coach of the Sesser-Valie Lady Devils. That's to come here on the Saturday Sports Show. First, we need to take a quick break. We're presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
How does Dale's Harley-Davidson in Mount Vernon stay the longest-running Harley dealer in Southern Illinois? How about free pickup and delivery and being the home of the $29.95 oil change? Plus, get financing as low as 1.5 APR, along with the best selection of certified pre-owned Harley-Davidsons. So now you know how Dale's Harley-Davidson stays number one. Dale's Harley-Davidson, open every day but Wednesday, just off of I-57 in Mount Vernon. Visit dales-hd.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski and Jeff Crow in studio for you this morning. Glad to have you with us. Especially glad to welcome our next guest, Rick Metcalf. He is the head coach of the Sesser-Valie Waltonville Lady Devils. Coach Metcalf, good morning.
Good morning.
Hard to believe we are already to that point of the year. Basketball is here. Of course, practices for the girls started a couple of weeks ago. Sesser-Valie Waltonville heads to the Sparta tournament to open up their season this coming week. And I think if you're a coach, if you're a player, if you're a fan, you just have to be happy that basketball is finally here.
Well, I've been a basketball junkie my whole life. I've been coaching for over 29 years now, and still got the spirit and the drive for it. And I'm just really anxious to go this year.
1 year into this, your second year as high school girls coach at SVW, last year's sectional qualifier. How did the off-season go, and how have practices been going here in the first couple of weeks?
Well, summer basketball, of course, was a little bit different for me because it was the first time that I had the girls in the summer. Last year I got hired on a Thursday night, had my first meeting on a Sunday, and practice on a Monday. Didn't even know half the girls' names for about a week and a half. So, it was a little bit different as far as summer ball goes, and never had anybody miss. It was great. Competition we had was really good all summer, and we held our own. So, yeah, the girls are pretty excited about it. And as far as early practices go, I think we're all on the same page, and everybody's ready to go.
All on the same page and ready to go. Who are your returnees this year for this season?
Well, we pretty much only lost one person, and that was in Tasha Dorr. She was in first-team all-conference selection, a big girl, so she's going to be sorely missed, one of my captains. And with that being said, everybody in Southern Illinois pretty much returns all their big girls, so, we're going to struggle probably a little bit at that position. But we're going to rely heavily on Chelsea Miller, 4-year starter, Ray Lappin, should be a 4-year starter. Megan Askew will be in the mix, Rachel Marlowe, Cheyenne Pitchford. And, we'll probably end up going about 8 or 9 deep, I'm hoping, this year.
I'm looking at your schedule, and this is the case where I see a schedule with the usual Black Diamond schools on there, Black Diamond West. But you've got the Sparta tournament, you've got the Chester tournament, and you've got the West Frankfort tournament. To me, it looks like the Lady Devils have bumped up their schedule a little bit since you've got there, because having to play those bigger schools, being a Class 2A school, you've got to see them during the regular season.
Well, it's kind of funny. As you well know, I've always liked to schedule, powerhouses or better opponents during the regular season. Especially when I was a boys coach, and I'd say our schedule is pretty much a river-to-river schedule. I don't know too many boys teams that play the kind of schedule that we have, but as you well know, all that does is get you ready for the tournament, and everything that we do, I've done my whole life. I'd like to think get you ready for the end of the year. So we'll be okay.
This Sparta tournament you open up with, SVW's been there forever. It's kind of been a traditional opening part of the season. Obviously, going 3-0, winning the whole tournament is what you want to do, obviously, as a coach and a team. But what are you looking to get out of this before you head in that conference schedule right out of the gate the next week with Alvarado and then, of course, Woodlawn at home on the 28th, a tough Class 1A school?
Right. Well, right off the bat, you're just a nervous wreck. You open up against Trico. During our conference, we had to play them 4 times last year. It seems like every time we turned around, we were playing them. They've got a couple girls back that were hurt last year, so right off the bat, and everything's revolving around that, of course, just getting prepared for the first game, making sure you get everything in. And, we're not, it'd be nice to go 3-0 in turn, but, guys got to be realistic. You just take them, the old cliche, one game at a time. And you hope to improve, game by game, take a step up the stairs, so to speak. And that's what we'll use that for, And then same thing when we get into Woodlawn. Woodlawn's got probably the best point guard in Southern Illinois, and the Caps girl back, I've seen her play numerous times, so that'll be a good thing for us there to play that team. And, the tournament, I'm pretty excited about this year.
You're in a unique situation. We've talked to Johnny Hollis, of course, the football coach there, as well as John Shadowins in past years. Talking about the co-op situation, you have to deal with 2 high schools. As a coach and a basketball coach, how do you handle that, and how do you go about getting girls to come out and play, not only from Sesser-Valie, but from Waltonville as well through the junior high programs?
Well, from what I've seen so far, just in the 2 years that I've dealt with this, I've been very fortunate that the administration over at Waltonville has just been outstanding. Superintendent, principal, and most notably Eric Widgeons, the athletic director. If I need anything, I'll text him, call him, and it's done. It's done yesterday. I don't have to worry about it, or no concern as far as getting the girls where they need to be. We've had 2 or 3 every year, come out, and it helps having people, quality people, as in Chelsea and Megan, in the program for 4 years, so they talk to the younger ones, hey, you need to go out, it's fun. So, my hat's pretty much off to the administration up that way for helping us out.
I got to mention this. We've had John Shadowins on the last 11 weeks talking about high school football. He's been kind of our little WMIX sports correspondent. He's your assistant coach right now, not with you right now, battling a health issue, and we wish him the best of luck. But how fun is that going to be, kind of bringing the old gang back together to do a little basketball coaching this year?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a ball so far. And, I've been coaching for a long time, but this is the first time in my coaching career that I've actually had an ex-head coach being my top assistant. Everybody forgets Coach Shadowins was the girls' head coach for years. I think that was 2001, was when he coached, back then. But, man, what a great asset to have. Little subtle comments here and there, He's not a yes man by no means. He knows I don't want a yes man like most good assistants are. They'll bring up things, and it's just been great up to this point. And it's, as you well know, John's a good friend of mine, so I just hope everything works out for him here in the next couple of weeks.
Of course, Coach, we like to take things a little lighthearted with our final question, our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Thanksgiving is almost upon us. Of course, we're not going to forget Thanksgiving here at WMIX. Our question this week is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? Hopefully we've done our job and stumped you.
Okay, I was trying to... All right, my favorite Thanksgiving dessert.
Yep.
Probably... All right, I'm going to go off the wall on this one. Hopefully at that juncture, having the Chicago Bears just with one loss. How about that?
Okay. Yeah.
Outstanding. Coach, of course, we wish you the best of luck this coming week. And, of course, we will see you on Friday night.
All right, bye.
That's Coach Rick Metcalf. Sesser-Valie, Waltonville.
Yep.
Lady Devils, ladies
I
and
wouldn't
gentlemen.
expect anything
One and
less. Yeah, it depends. And if you know Coach Metcalf, the thing is he has a flagpole in his yard, and depending on which Chicago team is doing very well, the flag flies high. So I'm sure the Bears flag is nudged up the highest on the pole right now with the Bulls season just starting, but I'm sure the Bears is right up there.
Well, yeah.
Right. Yeah. SVW, Sparta Tournament. I look down their schedule. Besides Black Diamond, I see Woodlawn, I see Johnston City, I see Hamilton County, I see Benton, I see DuQuoin, I see all these teams plus who they're going to play in these tournaments. That's a very difficult schedule. They have to play them being a 2A school with everybody returning but one player. There's a little bit of a bullseye on that team this year to match what they did and maybe get a little further in Class 2A.
Of course, they're in the BDC West when it comes to basketball, right?
Yes, they are with Alvarado, Goreville, Chester,
Not to mention you played
Trico.
Goreville twice.
Got to play Goreville twice. You know, and again, it's a very difficult schedule. I mean, I would think they would be the favorite at least at Sparta and at Chester. The West Frankfort tournament is really a tough stretch for them because they come in at Goreville, West Frankfort tournament for 3 games. Then they go at Chester, at DuQuoin. That's a very tough stretch for them in the dog days of the season. They're in mid to late January.
Well, and DuQuoin, a team that continues to get better as well. We saw that last year. Of course, they lost a couple of key seniors, and so we'll see how the DuQuoin Lady Indians are going to be in 2012-2013. Plenty more to come here on the Saturday Sports Show this morning. Somewhat of a basketball preview today. Of course, our basketball season, our slate gets started this coming week with games on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We hope you'll check them out. WMIX FM and online at mywithersradio.com this week. Andy Sloan, Benton Rangerettes head coach, still to come. We'll try to catch up with him here in just a moment, of course. But kind of wrapping up the Sesser-Valie Lady Devils, of course, the tough schedule they have. We'll have them at the Sparta tournament this coming week. And a team that goes to a sectional semifinal last year falls to Nashville in a sectional semi game on their home court. And a team that appeared to be very resilient, well-coached, some talent. And with losing, yes, they did lose one senior, but returning a great nucleus, could be a team that makes some noise.
This is a team that's going to have a lot of pressure on them. I think they snuck up on some teams last year because, you know, Coach Metcalf was hired just days before the first practice, had a group of girls that had to get used to him. He had to get used to them. He threw together a staff, you know, and everything else. So now that he's had a full year in the program, he's had a full off season to work with the kids, and now he's getting the full 2 weeks that they're used to him. A lot of pressure on this team to come out and perform when it comes to the beginning of February as far as February fever goes.
Well, not to mention the preparation that Coach Metcalf puts in even over the summer and the intensity. And you ask any coach, and that's pretty well the answer.
Well, when he looks to the right or left, depending on how they're sitting, he gets a guy who has head coaching experience not only junior high level and basketball, but in football at the high school level, high school girls basketball as well, track, everything, all the logistics, all the experience is right there. They've coached together before 2 years ago, now back together again with John Shadowins. I mean, that's a tough duo if you're on the other bench to look across and say, I got an X and O with those guys tonight, and now you throw in the fact that SVW's got a lot of talent coming back. It's a tough combination. They're looking for good things out of SVW this year at girls basketball.
Yes, they are. Another team looking for good things, the Benton Rangerettes. Of course, Andy Sloan, head coach of the Rangerettes, will join us. Bottom of the hour, WMIX Mount Vernon. We need to take a quick break. The Saturday Sports Show, of course, WMIX and mywithersradio.com is powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what health care should be.
Back after these.
Attention all Medicare Part D pharmacy patients. The annual enrollment period begins earlier this year, October 15th, and ends December 7th. And the Medicine Shop Pharmacy is ready to help you. Stop by or call to make an appointment with Eric Black or Tracy Adams. They'll review your current prescription plan and help you manage your Medicare dollars. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
What we offer to our patients is to sit down with them and answer questions that they may have about their medications, really with the end goal of being to maximize their dollars, because that's, after all, what patients really want. We'll take appointments, we'll sit down with them, take as long as it takes to help them choose a plan that is effective at meeting their needs.
Remember, the good folks at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy are never too busy to take care of you. They look forward to understanding your healthcare needs and will focus on keeping you well. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
To call to make an appointment, call 618-242-8776.
The tradition of fine vehicles and great service continues at Second Chance Auto. They've been providing quality cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs for families like yours for over 32 years, and many are priced under $10,000. Plus, most have a 3-month or 3,000-mile warranty. Bank rate financing available with instant approval. No gimmicks, no pressure, just honest deals on great vehicles from your friends and neighbors at Second Chance Auto, living and contributing back to the community they serve. Located on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon, or call 244-4582.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWeathersRadio.com. Glad to have you with us. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski, Jeff Crow in studio with you as well. Trying to hook up with Andy Sloan. Of course, Andy, we know, had another interview preceding us on at his home base, the mothership. So we'll try to catch up with him here in just a moment. Rangerettes, a program, Danny, that have gone from postseason success and cutting down nets to a program that had 3 1,000-point scores, struggled to find ways to win, and trying to find that stability. And they're hoping that stability will come in the form of Andy Sloan. Andy, of course, highly decorated in terms of the coaching ranks, a couple of state titles as a track coach, I believe 06, 09, as the head coach of the Rangerettes track team. And so now he, along with a top-level assistant, are trying to get things turned around there in Benton with the girls' program. And if anybody can do it, Andy can. Well,
that program had a little turmoil last year. Seth Tate took that program over, and then, of course, in December, resigned from the position. Ryan Miller, the AD, had to take over, of course, to fill out the rest of the season. Very difficult, tough year that I think Ryan Miller didn't get a lot of credit and kudos for because of what work and hours he had to put in along with being AD. And then Andy Sloan, who comes from a long pedigree of coaching. He coached with Ron Weinmiller with the boys. And, again, a great guy to take over that basketball program at Benton.
Speaking of which, Andy Sloan joins us on the Saturday Sports Show now. Coach Sloan, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, guys?
You know, we're doing pretty good. I have to imagine you're excited. It's finally started. Practice finally came a couple of weeks ago. Games get started for you at the Marion Tournament next week. And any butterflies as the season has finally gotten here?
Oh, sure. You know, a lot of nervousness, going into this first week of the season. We've got, we're starting that Marion Tournament, so we've got 4 games in a matter of 5 days, and, there's no easy ones over there, so we're, sure we're nervous, but I think we're ready to get started.
You helped out Coach Weinmiller last few years on his staff at the boys basketball program there at Benton. The switch over the girls, you've got experience coaching girls track, but what differences are there jumping over and coaching girls as far as on the basketball court is concerned?
I think as far as X's and O's, I don't think there's a lot of difference. Obviously, from going from the boys to the girls, you have to coach them differently, in my opinion. But, I guess the biggest difference right now is just going from maybe an assistant coach to head coach, where with Ron, he was scheduling the practices, and I was there when he needed me to be there and doing things for him. And, we worked and practiced on the things he felt like we needed to work on. And now, with me being the head coach, that's kind of my job as far as scheduling practices and how long we're going to go and what we're going to work on. So I've kind of found that to be the biggest difference for me so far.
You've jumped into that girls program, of course, very successful girls track. Benton, also known for volleyball, decent softball program as well. A lot of success in girls athletics. How does that help your program to start to grow and build toward being a consistent winner every year?
Well, I think, as far as success, across the board, we obviously have had some pretty good girls athletes in the past. And, you got to get them out for basketball, and I think we've got a lot of the good ones out. You've got to become successful, and I think, success breeds success, and it sparks the interest of the younger kids. And, we've had a pretty good junior high program. Jerry Corn's coach down there, and Aaron Cantrell, who's on our staff now, and then Mark Dahl has them now, and they're very successful. So, the junior high programs, I think, help out a lot, and we just got to, just keep working hard and do the things that we think will make our program successful at the high school level.
When you look at the program, and there's been a lot of wins over the last few years, 5 to 10 years in that program. Last year with the issue and the turmoil midway through the year, Ryan Miller had to take over. Is there a sense of comfort as far as the players are concerned, knowing that everything should be pretty stable this year as far as the program goes?
I think so. I know that's probably a thought in the back of their head that things haven't gone the way that they had hoped for them to go. With now I'm the third coach, I guess, within a 12-month period. So, but I do feel like we're more comfortable. Each and every day we work together. I think we get more comfortable with each other. And, you know, these kids are behind what other schools are as far as, you know, this is all new to them. New offense philosophy, new defense, different terminology. Maybe they're doing the same thing, but I call it something different than Ryan or Seth or, you know, whoever else have had these kids. So it's definitely a change for them, but, you know, I feel like they're getting comfortable, and they know we're going to stick with them and be with them, and, you know, good or bad throughout the season.
A very difficult and grinding week to open your schedule up traditionally for Benton at the Marion Tournament. Everything from 1A to 3A teams, you have to battle 5 games in 6 days. How do you look like that aspect of having all those games instead of the practice time going on this early in the year?
I'll tell you what, it's, you know, prior to going into it, I don't know that I'm a big fan of it. I may change my mind by next Saturday, but there's no easy ones, and you know, you could be sitting here a week from today, you know, 0-3, 0-4, and not being very happy with yourself. Not a lot of time to prepare from day to day, game to game. But you know, maybe it'll be good for us to get out and play early in the year, and you know, fill each other out, see what we do well, see what we really need to work on. I know the kids are kind of tired of practicing with me and the things we're doing and the drills, and you know, it's early in the season, but maybe they're ready to play. So you know, we're happy to be playing and excited about playing, but it is an awful lot of games in a short amount of time to start the year.
Of course, we'll go from the good for us to the not so good for us with our WMIX Sports Question of the Week. Thanksgiving's almost here. We're going to bleed it as much as we can with Thanksgiving-related questions over the next few weeks. But this week's question, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Nice. You ever had pumpkin cheesecake?
I never have.
You need
never
to.
Have.
I promise you, you will not. It will not let you down. It is amazing.
I'll be waiting on that.
I'll see what
He'll
I can
cook
do.
it for you, probably. Yeah.
Sloan, best of luck to you guys next week. You head to Marion, and good luck to the Rangerettes, and hopefully you can take home a W in your first game.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Always a pleasure. That's Andy Sloan. Of course, you know him as a renowned track coach, now trying to make his way as a renowned girls' head basketball coach for the Benton Rangerettes. Plenty more sports to talk here on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. We'll catch up with Travis Pinkston. He is the head coach of the Weber Lady Trojans. They start on Monday. We'll talk to him after the break. This is the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Hi, this is Nina Reitnauer, Relationship Banker with People's National Bank in Mount Vernon. People's National Bank is focused on providing the best possible customer service and products to meet the needs of our customers. If you aren't receiving the products and services you desire, maybe it's time to make a change. Change the name of your bank for the last time and make the switch to People's National Bank.
People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909. Member FDIC, wireless carrier fees may apply.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Glad to have you with us, of course, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Glad to welcome to the program now. He is the head coach of the Weber Lady Trojans, Travis Pinkston. Coach, good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
You know, doing pretty good. Season is finally here, at least finally getting here. Of course, Weber Township, the girls start Monday night, I believe, against Mount Vernon Christian, if I recall correctly. But your season's finally here. Last season, you had what seemed to be a great nucleus of girls. Who is returning for Weber Township this year?
We have 4 seniors returning for me. That's how I've had for 4 years now. You know, we've been building up for that opportunity, looking forward to a good season. And we also have 2 freshmen from last year, Courtney Cash and Melina Lene, both sophomores this year that are returning. So I have 6 out of the 11 girls returning, which is, you know, a big building for our program.
Speaking of that program, it seems like some of those names have been playing for 20 years. It seems like you've been around. I look at your schedule. You start off with 3 games this week, and the next week you get to the Edwards County tournament as well. I mean, that's a lot of games right out of the gate. Is that something you purposely scheduled to get more games in early, or is that something that you would like to do just because you get more games in instead of practices early on?
You know, it's been that way. That schedule's been like that ever since I started coaching there. You know, it's been that's really hectic. You know, you got 2 weeks to prepare for a season, and then you got such a compact schedule right off the gate. So, you know, you hope you can come firing out on the gate because you really don't have a whole lot of time in between those games to work on things. You know, for being new into the season. So, you know, you hope to get off to a good start. But, you know, you don't frantic too much if you don't. You know, you try to stay patient and know that, you know, the schedule will loosen up a little bit as you go on, and then hopefully you'll fill in the gaps.
Well, I'm looking at that, and they're taking 3, and you're probably, 4 or 5 the next week. You'd probably get a fourth of your games or a third of your games in right out of the gate in that 2-week stretch. But anyway, back to the rest of your schedule. The Midland Trail Conference, last year, very competitive. You had a team that was very competitive on a lot of games as well. What do you see for the conference this basketball season?
You know, I'm returning, more experience is always a positive. And I got some young girls coming in. You know, we've lacked some ball handling in the past. And, we've never struggled with height, which is a positive thing. You know, it's always hard to have that gel of height and dribbling. And I think this year we're going to bring both, and I think we're going to be real competitive in the Midland Trail this year. We hope to maybe play for a championship game. We're positive going in, and the more years you play with each other, you know, coach and player relationship, you know, I think you build a program. And I think we're more confident than we've ever been.
Speaking of more confidence, you look at that schedule and you go back through. Then another tough stretch as I like to look really far ahead, is in January, where you go Midland Trail Tournament 1 week, Sandoval Tournament the next week before a stretch of Galatia, Woodlawn, and Sisney. By that point in the year with that experience, is that going to be a part of the schedule you've already looked at, thinking you're going to learn a lot about your team at that point in the season?
Yeah, you know, I was looking at that too, and, you know, I hope coming down the stretch, you know, a lot of those teams we'd already played, you know, once earlier in the year. And you get a feel for those players and teams, and I think coming down the stretch with our leadership that we have, I think we're going to pull out a lot of games late in the year and hopefully round out to a great season.
Round out to a great season as well. As you mentioned, 6 of 11 players, all that coming back. Is there any team or teams that you're looking at as far as being a favorite in the Midland Trail Conference?
You know, I was kind of looking at that. I know Sandoval, you know, they lost some pretty good talent last year. And I was looking at Wayne City. Wayne City's lost some talent. I'm not real sure, you know. So I think some of these teams are going to have some hidden people or some people that's really worked hard over the summer come out to compete. And I hope, you know, my girls show up. And I think if we do our job, I think we're going to be tough. But I think a lot of players have really kind of teams, you know, how there's always an up and down balance throughout the years of players coming and going. And I think as far as the conferences this year, I think it's really well balanced.
Of course, Coach, our final question, always like to take things a little bit lighter. It's our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. Thanksgiving is almost upon us. As it approaches, we're curious, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Pecan pie.
Nice.
No doubt.
Very nice. Of course, I'll tell you what else would be nice would be to see Weber Township get some early wins to start off the year. Of course, Monday against Mount Vernon Christian. Good luck to the Weber Lady Trojans, and we will see you on Thursday night.
Hey, I appreciate it very much, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. That's Travis Pinkston, head coach of the Weber Lady Trojans, and, you know, he returns a great nucleus. A team last year that looked good many times, and then just toward the end of the ball game, for whatever reason, something may go wrong or some struggles may have happened to have played out. But that's a team that, you know, it might be a wild card this year, and certainly hoping to see the Weber Lady Trojans get some wins and basically support that experience that they have behind them, because they have the capability to be a very good basketball team.
We saw a lot of them last year, and I thought from the time we saw them early, we saw them at the conference tournament to the end of the year, I thought they made some great strides. With the people coming back, buying into the system, buying into the program, 6 of 11 players returning. They're going to be a handful this year, and they're going to be a team to look out for in 1A by the time it gets down to the end of the year.
I thought at the Wayne City Regional, I don't want to go that far, toward the end of their regular season, I really thought that from top to bottom and from beginning of the year to end of the year, they might have been the team that improved the most from start to finish. And if they can carry over whatever they worked on over the summer, and if they can transition that into a successful season this year, I think you have to look for some good things in the Midland Trail Conference side of the Weber Lady Trojans. We're going to stay in the Midland Trail Conference our next couple of guests. DeAirdra Dagg, head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians, will join us here in just a moment. We need to slip out for a quick break. This is a Saturday Sports Show. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Have you ever stopped to think about how much time we do not have during the day? Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ford dealer at Ford Square and Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler, Mount Vernon. How often do you forget to make that phone call for an oil change or to schedule a tune-up? I'm excited to tell you that you can schedule your service appointments online at Ford Square and King City Chrysler. Whether the workday is too chaotic to pick up the phone or basketball practice just won't allow you to stop by, we have you covered. Log on to FordSquare.com or KingCityChrysler.com to schedule your service appointment. Or, if you prefer to hear a friendly voice, feel free to call us anytime. We've made amazing quality service unbelievably easy at Ford Square and King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. You can count on us. Also, find us on Facebook and Twitter.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Glad to have you with us. Our first of many basketball previews to come. We're talking a little high school girls basketball right now on the Saturday Sports Show. It's all presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
I'd think there for a second.
I was wondering.
Been out of the studio for a while. Can't help it.
It's okay, man.
I have no idea. We do
lost a little bit of wisdom last week, but that's okay.
Oh, nice, well played. I see what you did there.
Gotcha.
Of course, we do welcome to the program head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians, DeAirdra Dagg. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
You know what? Great morning. I understand you had a very, very ridiculously early practice, but I mean, outside of that, basketball season is here. I know you lost a couple of seniors from last year. Who do you return this year in 2012, 2013?
I return 3 starters. I have Emily Green, that's my point guard, she's a junior, and I have Haley Spicer, that's a senior, and I have Megan Slover, that's a senior this year.
Looking at your schedule, you will play Weber on Thursday. The Lady Trojans, that will be their 3rd game. That will be your first. Any concerns heading into that game on Thursday, knowing they've already got 2 full games under their belt compared to your being your season opener?
It's always a concern, but we know Weber pretty much inside and out. You know, we play them all the time. Being this close together, big rivals, so we know them. We're always ready to play them, so I'm not too concerned about it. My girls always seem to get up to play them, so it'll be okay.
I'm looking at your schedule the rest of the way. I look all the way up and down, and I'm looking at Edwards County Tournament, Fairfield Tournament getting involved. You're taking on some bigger schools during that stretch run of your tournaments this year. How important is that for your team to play some big up, and then, of course, have that experience going into the postseason?
Right. It's so important. You don't get better until you start playing those better teams. The Fairfield tournament just got the schedule the other day. It is going to be a beast, but the girls are going to learn so much, and that is right before our conference tournament, and always before we had a month, that whole Christmas break off before we played the conference tournament. So we wanted to get into something that would help us get more prepared for our conference tournament, and Fairfield jumped in. It's really going to be great for the girls to learn and just to get the experience of playing some bigger schools.
I also look at your non-conference schedule as well. You have Fairfield on the schedule, Gallatin County, Oakville, Sesser, obviously Red Hill, playing up, playing big. Your schedule has changed over the years. Has that got your hands on the schedule a little bit, trying to bump up in schedule toughness?
I tried when I first got there. This is my 4th year, so when I got there, I really wanted to figure out some ways to play some bigger schools. Also, we've had a lot of schools that have dropped out. We've lost girls programs here recently. So, and the bigger schools have JV teams, which is what was my big concern. A lot of the small schools do not have. We're playing one team, just varsity, which my younger girls, and I have a really young team this year. And so it was important for me to find those JV games for those girls to get to play. If you're not playing games, you're not improving. So that was one of the most important things for me.
Playing games and improving as the Midland Trail Conference last year. Very competitive. The conference tournament was a blast to see all the competition, the great games. Who do you see, including your team, as a favorite as far as going into the Midland Trail Conference season?
Woodlawn is always a favorite. You always have to watch them. Alexa Capps is still there. She has her senior year, and she can put some numbers up. So you always have to be concerned about Woodlawn. You don't really know, with them having a new coach this year, how it's going to turn out. Sandoval is going to be tough again this year. We are going to be tough this year. I lost 3 seniors, but I have a couple of juniors that are ready to step up. Hunter Clark is ready to step up to the next level. And Kaylee Alvis is a senior this year, and she's going to step up and be a big scorer. So the 3 of us probably are going to be in the hunt again this year. And then you look at Sisney, they have a 6'4" girl that, it's hard to stop sometimes whenever you don't have that size to match up. So it's just going to be a tough conference all the way around.
We have to ask, though, when we make our appearance at the Wayne City Tournament this year to Conrad Allen, are we going to be allowed to walk in quietly, or do we have to wait outside like everybody else?
Now, be nice. I'm not that bad. It just when those boys come in, try to interrupt my girls seem to focus on those boys instead of what's going on the floor. So,
okay.
I'm pretty good about the quiet ones sneaking in. I'm okay with that.
Well, we kid you with asking that question.
Of course, now you're going
to pretty bad.
DC, you're going to kill our hospitality on Thursday night, I hope you know. I had things all arranged. We're going to be pretty well taken care of, so don't do anything to jeopardize that. But as you know, we like to keep it a little lighthearted. We have the WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. I kind of warned you about it ahead of time, that it was going to catch you off guard. Well, with Thanksgiving upon us, or at least coming close, we want to know what your favorite Thanksgiving dessert is.
Oh, that's easy. My grandma's pumpkin pie. My favorite. So anything my grandma fixes, I am good with, but her pumpkin pie is my favorite.
Now, here's the age-old question. Do you have some people top their pumpkin pie with different things? Some do the traditional Cool Whip or whipped topping sort of thing, or whipped cream. Some do ice cream. What do you top your pumpkin pie with, or do you just leave it as is?
I'm a traditional girl, so I do the whipped cream.
Nice.
That's exciting, but yeah, definitely whipped cream.
Very nice. And, of course, you guys get started on Thursday night against Weber Township at home.
We're excited about you guys being there. It'll be awesome.
We're excited to come. It's always nice to be wanted, and we appreciate everything you've done for us thus far and look forward to coming to see you on Thursday night.
Great. Thank you so much.
That's DeAirdra Dagg, head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians. They play Weber Township on Thursday. Of course, we talked to both of those coaches. Always nice to preview a matchup with 2 people back-to-back like that. We did that like only we can do. The WMIX Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. Of course, it's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Let's see. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we'll talk to Trisha Draege. She is the head coach of the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals. We will also have Darren Kinnard, TV3 Sports Director. In between them, we'll have Chris Kays. We'll talk a little high school volleyball as well. Of course, Jeffrey Drake's still to come. He is the voice of the Harrisburg Bulldogs on sister station WEBQ. That is 1240 a.m. If you want to listen to today's game against the Marquette Explorers, or you can find it online at WEBQradio.com. Of course, that is a Withers Broadcasting sister station. Otherwise, I would not have just gone through that long, drawn-out spiel, more than likely. You know, that's how I roll. It's what I do.
We help promote.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, Harrisburg's in. A lot of options today.
There are.
Home games in the area today. And
that's
I consider
incredible.
area is Althoff.
Yeah, I mistakenly left that out. Althoff. Today,
Bishop Althoff.
Can't talk yet. Trying.
You're getting there.
We're getting there.
You better learn quick, because basketball's
Yeah,
you
know what? I was looking at the schedule the other day.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot of games coming.
You go with yours, and I'll go with mine. When I looked at the schedule.
I didn't count. I was too nervous.
Enjoy last night.
I know we don't have a Friday night free until
the
March.
next 17 weeks, there's a basketball game either we're doing or more than likely we're going to on Friday night.
And I have a feeling that my last Friday night in March will probably end up a lot like. Never mind.
Yeah.
Going on to the schedule.
It'll probably be a baseball game too.
Do what?
Probably baseball by that point.
You know, we go right from
come out of that. You know,
we go right from basketball to baseball. And you know what? I love that.
That was like last year because we,
that was the year before that for me too.
Well, right. We were in Peoria watching Woodlawn win the state title on a Saturday, and on a Tuesday evening at 4 o'clock, we're in Salem for baseball.
And it was nice outside.
It was 70 degrees.
Sunny.
Yeah.
It was cold.
That won't happen.
It was cold as Hades in Peoria.
Yeah.
Of course, it always is. When is it not? No hills up there to block the wind.
Well, it
it's cold up there.
Yeah.
You know where else it gets cold? Somewhere. I don't even know. We need to take a quick break here on Saturday Sports Show. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these. Yep.
I know you've heard about mortgage rates being all-time lows, but have you done anything about it yet? Hi, I'm Rick Pigg, mortgage lender at Community First Bank. There's never been a better time at buying a home or refinancing an existing mortgage. The sooner you act, the more you save, and we'll be there to help you through every step of the way. For more information, visit us at comfirstbank.net or stop by one of our 5 locations.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is WMIX, Mount Vernon, Marion, another Withers Broadcasting Station.
The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois welcomes Dr. Beth Conradi to their medical staff. Dr. Conradi specializes in comprehensive pain management using a multidisciplinary team approach by working with other specialists for optimal diagnosis and treatment of pain. Dr. Conradi will treat most conditions of the spine, including management of cancer pain. Dr. Beth Conradi, helping to make life better day after day at the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois in Mount Vernon. Call 618-242-3778.
Follow the adventures of a cherished Rivertown youth who always seems to find mischief with the Rend Lake College Theater's production of Tom Sawyer, based on the novel by Mark Twain. See local thespians in this delightful presentation. The curtain goes up at 7 p.m. on November 8th, 9th, and 10th with a special 2 p.m. matinee on November 11th. Tickets are just $12 and are available now at the Rend Lake College Theater box office at rlc.edu or by calling toll-free 800-369-5321, extension 1214.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, mywithersradio.com. We're glad to have you with us as we head to the second hour of the program today. Of course, traditionally, this is where you'd hear WMIX sports correspondents. Yeah. Missed those wisdom teeth.
Missed them.
Anyhow, this is where we traditionally have WMIX sports correspondent John Shadowins. Of course, he is battling some health issues today. We wish John the best of luck and hope that he gets well soon.
I might know a speech person to help you with this issue.
Boy, jeez. You know, now
or two,
I'm going to try not to butcher anything else as we head to this, but we do welcome the head coach of the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals, Trisha Draege. And I think I spit that out correctly. And yes. If so, I'm batting 1,000 at that point. But welcome to the program. Season gets underway before we know it. It's going to be Monday night. You guys have Ziegler, Royalton, Christopher, the co-op at home in Sides Gymnasium. Yep. Are you a little nervous? I mean, first game out, first game as head coach, it's here.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for sure because, you know, we have a new team. We've been working with them for just a few weeks, and we really don't know what to expect on the other side of the court, so there's a lot of unknowns, but from the progression of what we've seen our team do from the first day we had them till now, I mean, we feel pretty good about it.
Two-part question coming up. Number one, how many girls are out in the program this year? And number two, who are your returning players or players that you're going to rely on this season?
Yeah, definitely. We have 14 girls this year coming out, and the returners, we have Alexa Capps from last year, who's a senior. We have Cassandra Lukey, who's also a senior, and Allie England, who's a junior. So those are the three girls that played last year throughout most of the year, and they're the ones that's coming back with the most experience for us. And we do have a lot of other girls that have played in the last couple of years, you know, for different programs and such, that they're going to be, you know, contributing, of course, as well. But those three girls were the ones that played last year.
A ZR game on Monday night, and then you jump into the DuQuoin Invitational Tournament. Yeah. That's not a small task to jump into. Tell us who the teams are there and who you're going to be seeing next week at DuQuoin.
Who are some of the teams?
Yes.
Is that okay? Steelville is playing Murfreesboro. You know, DeCoyne's obviously going to be there. Alvarado is going to be a matchup as well. I think there's a handful of talent on all those teams. So we're definitely, you know, we talked to the girls right away because we got the schedule early and kind of told them it's going to be, you know, we're going to come out of the chute going for sure. We're not messing around. We've got, you know, about, I think it's 6 games and, you know, the first 7 days of our season. So we're going to be doing a lot of, you know, coming in early before games, walking through, fixing stuff on the fly. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out.
So looking at the rest of your schedule, of course, a lot of games in the first week or so, and then you jump in non-conference, Sesser-Valie. Mentioned some of the other non-conference, Goreville, Galatia, Oakville, Carmi, Hamilton County on the schedule. It's a very difficult schedule for your team, but is that what you like to prep your team for postseason?
Oh, yeah. You know, of course, because I was joking with Sarah Lamchick, the volleyball coach, you know, about halfway through her season when they were kind of in a little bit of a slump, and I told her, you know, technically you could be 0-17 and go to the state, you know, or I guess 2-17 and kind of go into the state tournament, you know, that sort of thing, because really all that matters is postseason play. And I would, of course, rather prepare my girls throughout the season and play tougher teams to kind of get them ready for that stuff so that if they see it, you know, in regional play, that they're not caught off guard, that they're ready for it, and, you know, that they're kind of seasoned by that point.
I also look at the conference, Midland Trail Conference, of course, tournament in January. Who, including your team, are you looking to be as the leader or the favorite to win that conference this year?
Yeah, of course. Well, I know that North Clay was strong last year. I've got some information on them. I know that some other teams were pretty good as well. I know that Wayne City is not a bad team at all. So I think that North Clay took it last year and maybe even the year before. So, you know, of course, we're looking for them. And to be fair, I would like to consider all teams, you know, to be a threat. I think it's a little naive to maybe not kind of look over anybody as you go up against.
And also, you look back, and I look at Woodlawn. You're a native. You live there. You work there now. Coach there. Looking at Woodlawn, a lot of success in the last 5 years in all sports, and whether it's girls basketball, softball, whether it's volleyball, whether, of course, boys basketball, the baseball team's done well. Yeah. How does that all come together to help specifically your program out into keeping a winner and building on a winner as it has gone on the last few years?
Yeah, of course. I think, you know, it was obviously helpful for our town, you know, whenever they added the extra class and we kind of got to play people our size, because I remember being in high school and we met Nashville, most regionals, and that was, of course, a pretty difficult thing. So I think it's nice, you know, that our kids, we've got a ton of athletes, you know, we've shown that time and time again. A lot of athletic talent out here, and so whenever you put them in arenas with, you know, similar places, they can compete. They've done really well. So I think, you know, just that confidence of telling the girls, you know, I know that there's a lot of things maybe you guys haven't been taught, but you have that athletic ability. You're successful in softball. You're successful in volleyball. You know, you were successful at the grade school and different programs for those guys coming in. So just kind of building off of that. And the kids out here support each other like crazy. You know, they're at each other's athletic events all the time, dressed up, crazy costumes. So that creates the atmosphere. You know, the community is very involved, so that's supportive as well and helpful.
Moving over, I'm sure you've been assistant or help out coaching some wise, but moving over to the big chair, the head coach, how has it been moving over and taking over the responsibilities of a program at the high school level?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I love basketball. You know, I love kids. I love high school kids, and so it's been kind of an incredible journey so far. But it has definitely been a time-consuming one and a difficult one, because kind of stepping into the shoes from last year and trying to rebuild a program that was really kind of on its last leg has been pretty challenging for sure. But I've got some great assistant coaches that help out, and you know, like I said before, I've got a great support system. You know, the school board's been awesome, and the administration at the high school. So pretty much anything I need, the booster club stepped up. So everybody's kind of here. You know, they want to see this program succeed, which is, you know, definitely encouraging for any coach.
Well, our last question we'll ask you, of course, we kind of go a little off topic, a little humor, a little this, a little of that. Yeah. Anyway, it's our WMIX Sports social media question of the week, where we're on Facebook and Twitter. But our question this week is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Oh, man, favorite Thanksgiving dessert. I would have to say it's pecan pie. You know, you heat it up and you drown it with vanilla ice cream. fantastic.
Nice.
And it's one of those that, I mean, I kind of feel a little strange eating it any other time. It's just kind of, I feel like it's more of a seasonal thing, but it's fantastic.
Now, see, you can do that because I know with me working at Woodlawn Grade School, every once in a while you're running out jogging, so you can eat a lot of that because you go out and run, right?
Yeah. It's helpful. It definitely helps.
Okay.
But yeah, it's great.
Coach, we thank you for joining us this morning. We will be out there Monday night to broadcast that game with you and CZR in your home opener and your first as the head coach of the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
That's Trisha Draege, the head coach of the Woodlawn Lady Cardinals high school basketball team. They will open up Monday night against ZRC. Of course, we will be there for the varsity contest. Welcome as we go.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. I have no problem.
Good.
It went well.
It did. I was able to listen.
Another vote.
I listened in our holding room.
Yeah. And just to see how it went, the holding room?
Yeah.
The green room?
Holding
Did you go
pattern.
to the green room?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to take a break.
We do. We have Chris Kay's IHSA Clinician coming up. We'll talk a little high school volleyball. State finals, in case you weren't aware, going on right now. Still to come, we'll have Darren Kinnard, TV3 sports director, as well as Jeffrey Drake, voice of the Harrisburg Bulldogs on WEBQ, our sister station. We'll take that break. When we come back, we'll have plenty more to talk about on the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Follow the adventures of a cherished Rivertown youth who always seems to find mischief with the Rend Lake College Theater's production of Tom Sawyer, based on the novel by Mark Twain. See local thespians in this delightful presentation. The curtain goes up at 7 p.m. on November 8th, 9th, and 10th with a special 2 p.m. matinee on November 11th. Tickets are just $12 and are available now at the Rend Lake College Theater box office at rlc.edu or by calling toll-free 800-369-5321, extension 1214.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. 9 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. Glad to have you with us, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Welcome to the program. It's a welcome back of sorts, I suppose. Chris Kays, he is now an IHSA clinician in the sport of volleyball. Of course, that's an officiating term, blah, 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 blah. Kays, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing well. Sound tired. It must have been an exciting day of volleyball yesterday up there at the state finals.
Exciting, and when you put it all into one day, it makes it pretty long. We left right around 6 o'clock yesterday morning, got home about 1:15 this morning. So it makes for a long day, a quick turnaround, but when you want to go up there and watch a little bit and then get back so you can work a little bit during the quarterfinals of football, there is no rest for the wicked.
Hey, after you had that smoking great day of volleyball at the IHSA State Tournament, yes, I want to go back a week. You had the opportunity to call the Breeze Mater Dei Columbia sectional championship match at Murfreesboro, which Columbia won, knocked off the two-time state champs. How was that as an official? Not only to view the game, but be a part of that as part of the IHSA officiating people?
It's one of those things that it's exciting. It's really exciting. I'm not going to lie, going into it, a little bit nervous. My first sectional, it happens to be a pretty big one. I had an experienced crew around me as far as the lady I was assigned with as a floor official, and then my 2 line judges. Just to have that caliber of volleyball, even come down this far in Southern Illinois was pretty spectacular.
Southern Illinois being well represented up north, obviously Edwards County is there, Valmeyer's there, but also some other officials have made the trek up there, whether they're in the R1, R2 on the floor. Talk about some of those officials that are up in Bloomington Normal this weekend.
Our area's been fortunate enough for the last several years to have officials from the 618 go up. The last few years, we've been a little bit luckier where we've had, deep South officials, basically south of 64, get a chance to go up. Judy Stark, who's from here in Benton, where I'm at, went up as a floor official this year, and she also went last year. Diana Willis went up last year. She's from Carbondale, Marion. And also along with Judy this year is Bill Wood from Belleville and Andy Glauber, who's a line judge. And just from the deep south, it doesn't happen very often where we get to send an official, because when the state divides things, instead of doing north, south, east, west with volleyball, they tend to do north, central, and south, and Metro East is part of the south, but that's where the majority of our officials come from. So to be able to, from my association standpoint, to be able to send an official back-to-back years, it says a lot about what we do down here and a lot what the sport is becoming down here in our area.
I look at yesterday, and you drove up there yesterday and saw these matches. I see a lot of the schools that perennially, something like that, are in the volleyball state tournament. Mount Pulaski, I see Mother McCauley, I see Edwards County. You go down and you see some of the bigger schools that have made it there, but some new ones as well, as far as Valmeyer and Kansas getting there. I mean, it's starting to change over. It's not your usual suspects anymore. No schools from Breeze this year. A lot of other schools as volleyball is starting to catch around. And, again, I like for you to talk about this. One of the most, I guess, attended and or number of players going out for volleyball. That's one of the highest sports for girls to participate in.
As far as participation, it is the largest sport in the form of participation numbers that the IHSA had. I actually talked with Matt Trohoff for a while yesterday when I was up there, and we were talking about that. And it's one of those things that when you initially hear, you kind of think, really, you think, with track and girls basketball or softball, but volleyball has the highest participation numbers. And that shows you how popular it's becoming as a sport. You look and you can turn on the television at any time, during the evening, especially in the next couple of weeks, and see the NCAA National Championship Tournament on. Going to the National Championship Final Four is a little bit more of a big deal for fans. Talk about your powerhouses up there in Bloomington. Your usual suspects are there. Wheaton St. Francis out of 3A, who is just, it was a stellar squad yesterday. They were coached by Peg Kopech, who's been there since, believe before 1980. Since 84 has not had it's either 84 or 88, has not had a season where she's won less than 30 matches. She's won 1,130 matches as of yesterday. And then you've got Donna Dooley at Mount Pulaski, who battled Peg Kopech several times, especially in 2002, 3, and 4, where Mount Pulaski got second to St. Francis. Well, with 4 classes, everybody kind of gets, some people kind of get the short end of the stick, and other people, feel pretty good about it. Mount Pulaski doesn't have to run into Wheaton St. Francis anymore, where Mount Pulaski has 174 students this year, and they are just an absolute load.
First of all, I'm going to give you your knowledge card. That's very impressive knowledge, Case. But my question for you would be attendance. Volleyball is a sport that, in my opinion, just doesn't get the respect that it deserves. You bring up the participation numbers and having the most participants of any women's sport in the IHSA. What is attendance like up there for the state finals? Is it pretty strong or is it pretty sparse?
It's kind of hit and miss. You have several volleyball fans. When I went up there yesterday, I saw several volleyball officials I know up there for a multitude of different reasons, whether they are watching their friends officiate or they're just up there to watch, watch some good volleyball. And I'll tell you guys, when we were up there yesterday, the only match that wasn't a whole lot was the first match out of the gate with Valmeyer and Mount Pulaski. That was one. Mount Pulaski is just, they're so well coached. I'm not taking anything away from Valmeyer because it's spectacular that they're up there. But Mount Pulaski is so well coached by a woman who has been there for a very long time, runs a great program. If you can, look at the 2-class system and how many times she was up there and winning trophies with 200 students. And now, she's got a chance to continue to do it, and they just crank out players up there. But the attendance is not the greatest. Most state final events don't have a lot of great attendance anymore, with the exception of track and wrestling. But you look at how many athletes get to compete in that, it draws more out. But of course, as we've seen with basketball and football in the past, and you guys have noticed with the state finals, it seems the bigger the school, the smaller the crowd that it's got. And I'm not lumping all big schools into that, but when you get out of Chicago or the larger metropolitan areas, it seems for them to get, it seems pretty hard for them to be able to bring a good crowd. Had some great crowds yesterday. Wheaton St. Francis had one of the best student sections I've ever seen yesterday. But then again, volleyball's in their blood up there at St. Francis.
Kays, we like to do things a little lighthearted with our final question, and I know that with Halo 4 having come out, Thanksgiving's probably an afterthought to you right now, but what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? And I should know this, and I could probably answer it for you, but I'll let you answer.
It's pumpkin pie. You can't, I'm sorry, but I'm a traditionalist. You can't beat it. It's always good with a big dollop of Cool Whip on it. So,
I knew you were going to say it exactly as such. I'm proud to say that I knew that verbatim was coming. But
where are you going today?
Yeah.
DuQuoin, got a little bit of work for, going to work a little bit for Southern Illinois in the day. It's kind of the great part of my job is I, referee volleyball in the fall. And, Fridays and a couple Saturdays a year, because Saturday's a very heavy volleyball day in the fall. Gets you a little bit of football for what I do for a living. So I think DuQuoin, Camp Point, or would it be Central Southwestern? Is that how I should pronounce it?
Well, since I left Thursday to get to DuQuoin, it probably is. They're probably picking up town names as they come down to
Was that
DuQuoin.
like a Compass Rose? Is that the name of their school?
Yeah, Compass, yeah.
Something like that?
That's a brutal drive for those guys. I don't blame them for a 3 o'clock start, that's for sure. Give them a little bit of time.
Yeah, just a little bit. A little bus time, scenic route coming down, taking in the beautiful lack of fall foliage that are now in the trees, yes.
Oh, man.
The fall foliage in 55 in Missouri.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, man. Kays, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you, gentlemen. Take it easy.
We'll do it again soon. That's Chris Kays, IHSA Clinician in the sport of volleyball, and also a freelance photographer. Has helped us out with some photos many times over the years on our WMIX Sports Facebook page. Speaking of which, we remind you, get in on the action on our discussion. Thanksgiving is around the corner. It'll be here before you know it. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? I know mine. I knew his.
I got mine.
I might know this guy's. I might know that guy's. Maybe not. Find out. We'll talk about it a little bit later on here on the Saturday Sports Show. Jeffrey Draege and Darren Kinnard still to come here on the big show here in the 9 o'clock hour. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Do you farm or operate an agriculture-based business? Then Community First Bank is for you. Hi, I'm Steve Down, Agribusiness Lending Officer at Community First Bank. With our roots firmly planted in Jefferson County, we offer the stability, strength, and personal attention that you deserve. Community First Bank wants to be your financial partner. Customized products for both your personal and farm banking needs. Stop by any of our 5 convenient Jefferson County locations to see how we can help your business grow.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Glad to have you aboard as we welcome our next guest. He is the voice of the Harrisburg Bulldogs on sister station WEBQ 1240. Take in that game today, I believe, a 2 o'clock kickoff in Harrisburg as they battle the Marquette Explorers. Again, WEBQ 1240, WEBQRadio.com. So a shameless plug there for our next guest, Jeffrey Draege. Mr. Draege, good morning.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you guys today?
Not bad.
Very well.
Not bad.
How's it going in
You're
Harrisburg?
Better. Your stomach a little better than yesterday, Chris? I know you're
Yes,
hurt a little bit after
my
trip to Benton.
yes, my stomach is much better. Thank you. All of that out of the way. Bulldogs, a team in 4A that many thought might make a run before the season started. Proving to have made that run thus far, get to the quarterfinals, I believe, for the first time since the state championship year of 2000. Run into an Explorer team that beat Waterloo in the first round, then won again last week. Of course, Waterloo, if you can't go by comparative scores in football, but say you did. Waterloo, of course, beaten by Cardinals, who was beaten by Harrisburg. So, I mean, there we go. We're back to the full circle. A big game for the Bulldogs today. Should be an interesting one against a team like Alton Marquette, a team that many think, when it comes time for basketball, will be right there with the Harrisburg Bulldogs, oddly enough.
Yeah, you guys are right. Now, Marquette's averaging about 45, 47 points a game or whatever it is, and that's kind of what Columbia was doing last week, and Harrisburg's defense really did a nice job holding it in check, forced a couple of turnovers. I think that's one thing that's maybe lost in this whole season is Harrisburg's plus 11, plus 13, I think, in turnovers, something like that. And Ryan Roper, the quarterback, has only thrown 2 interceptions. And they've popped out a lot of fumbles. They've been able to fall on a lot of loose balls, and then they're not turning the ball over themselves. You want to knock on wood if you're a Harrisburg fan, but so far they've put together a nice run. I know Marquette's won 9 or 10 in a row, so they're hot. Harrisburg's playing really well right now, especially on the defensive side. I'm expecting kind of another ground and pound type game where Harrisburg's best defense could be its offense and keeping Alton Marquette off the field.
I thought last week it kind of started out as the bully. Columbia comes in with all this stuff about how good their offense is. Harrisburg kind of frustrated them early, kind of smacked them around a little bit, but then by the end of the game was starting to pound on them and wear them down. I thought that was key last week. You mentioned the ground and pound game. You talk about Ryan Roper, a guy that doesn't get a lot of pub for his throwing, but if Harrisburg needs it, that's something they can go to, is they can throw the football, even though they're known more for the running.
Yeah, you're right, and they've gone to some spread looks. So there's a couple times in a game, I think they did it last week, too, that they go empty backfield, 5 receivers, and they've got some weapons, and the people in John Dustin Younger and some other speed on the outside, too. But, Roper, he's such a solid player and a smart quarterback. He just hasn't been asked to do much. He hasn't played defense this year, but there have been some spots where, because he was an all-conference selection as a defensive back last year, but had a little bit of a shoulder injury later in the season, so they've kind of tried to protect his shoulder. Of course, he's going to Illinois on a baseball scholarship like his brother was already up there, Reed. But, if they need him to make a pass and complete a pass, I think the coaching staff has every amount of confidence in the world that he's going to make that happen, and they can move the chains. Maybe they could use that to their advantage with some play action today if they have to. And
Alton Marquette's a team that, bumping up to 4A, a little bit different. Harrisburg kind of, 3A, 4A, that's what they play all year. Is there an advantage maybe to that game today for Harrisburg, having played bigger schools rather than Alton Marquette, who's bumping up a little bit, playing a river-to-river school?
I think scheduling-wise, Harrisburg might have a bit of an advantage throughout the course of the season, but, that might not make a difference today. I think Marquette's coming in there averaging, like I said, about 45, 46 points. But last year, Marquette was in 3A in the playoffs, and the 3 years they made the postseason before that, they were 2A. So you got to take into effect a Catholic school with the multiplier and everything. So they're not used to losing either, though. Harrisburg's not this year. It's fortunate for Harrisburg. Again, you're at home for the 3rd straight week in the postseason. Of course, even if you win today, that's probably going to come to an end next week, having to go to a Peoria, Notre Dame, or a Rochester in the semifinals. But I think Harrisburg, knowing they were going to be on the bubble when the pairings came out 3A, 4A, to be 4A, to get 3 home games in a row, they would certainly take that.
Looking at a program or an organization, sometimes when a coach is there, there's a big-time shadow on the program. When that coach leaves or success, it's hard for guys or gals to come in behind that coach. No different in Harrisburg with Al Way. When he left the program, and then, of course, other coaches came through, and now Jason Roper. Jason Roper, to me, has done an outstanding job with that program, with the pressure that's on it year in and year out with the schedule Harrisburg Blades as far as guiding the Bulldogs in his tenure.
Yeah, this is his 7th year. It's kind of hard to believe he's been here for that long, but, up until this year, Al Way has been a freshman coach here helping out at the lower levels, and he still had kind of a pulse on the program and a sort of reserve role, but, he's won a couple playoff games this year. I think Jason's getting more comfortable, and I think the reason that they maybe haven't won playoff games coming into this year is because you're putting yourself in such a bad spot, playing such a difficult schedule where you're lucky to get 5 or 6 wins to get in the playoffs, and then you're having to go on the road when you have to open the season with the Mount Carmel, and then you open the playoffs with taking on the Golden Aces team too. But they got a little confidence going on, and maybe they get a win today, and I'll have to worry about a trip to Rochester next weekend. But to be in the semifinals. I think Harrisburg would take that. They've been in the semifinals as a school 5 times. This would be the 6th time if they can get it today. And, that's a very rich program, and Jason Roper has done a very nice job in continuing the winning ways left over before that. I know Al Wade and Greg Langley, and before that Al Wade and Ken Joggers. So they've had a long line of coaches, and a lot of the assistants do a lot of hard work, too. So they all get along well, and they're putting together a lot of wins.
I look at it this way, too, as Harrisburg makes this deep run. Another win today makes it even deeper. A high school boys basketball team with a lot of expectation as well. How's that mix been this week with boys basketball practice starting with the majority of the players still playing football? How's that been going on around town?
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Randy Smith-Peters, who's starting his 20th year as a basketball coach, and I think everybody pretty much knows the high expectations that Harrisburg has when it comes to wintertime in boys basketball. They reached the Elite Eight last year, lost in the Supers to the eventual state champion, 2A for East Central. The Alton Marquette team, who really is going to be a very good 3A team, who got bumped up a class, who's going to play Harrisburg in basketball, I think, December 8th at SIU. But Coach Smith-Peters alluded back to that 2000 season when Harrisburg won a state championship. That's also the last time Harrisburg got into the quarterfinals before this year is when they won state in 2000. But, they had people that in the early part of the season in December they were losing games maybe they shouldn't lose, but by the end of the season, second time through in the conference, they're starting to put together wins. But, I think just keep everybody healthy as far as basketball goes, put together as many football wins as you can, and they still got the Tyler Smith-Peters and the Eli Tabor and Scotts that are out there, and the Bahari Amayas who are getting they're working at the gym right now. So when football's over with, they'll focus on basketball. They still got, I think, the 26th is when they open up with their own tournament with Gallatin County. But Coach Smith-Peters, he's not having a problem with it at all. I think he's enjoying this little postseason ride in football as well. The more success I think he thinks you can get from one sport, it kind of feeds over because they've got a lot of people that do play both sports, like you guys mentioned.
Of course, we like to keep it lighthearted, as you know by now, with our final question, our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. I could probably have a guess as to what the answer may be just for this year only, but what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? It's right around the corner.
Oh, I do pumpkin pie. I'm a big pumpkin pie fan, and actually, I'm getting married, and getting married a couple days after Thanksgiving, and part of the cake we got is a pumpkin cake.
Nice.
So we got a little pumpkin cake going on with the Thanksgiving wedding theme, so yeah, I can't go wrong with pumpkin pie. That's always pretty solid.
See, that's why I kind of said what I said, because I wondered if wedding cake might be the answer for this year only. But you've incorporated the elements of Thanksgiving into a Catholic wedding. Well done, sir.
We're very festive in Harrisburg and Gallatin County. You know that, too, over in Ridgeway.
Yeah. Yes, sir. The call of the game, you'll have it at, what's your pregame, 1:30, 1:40?
1:30 pregame. We'll talk to Jason Roper. We'll take a look back at some of the highlights from last week's game against Columbia. Harrisburg won that one 14-7. It's on AM 1240. Also online, you can get it at WEBQradio.com. Just click on the AM Sports button. We'll have the 1:30 pregame, 2 o'clock kickoff, and they're expecting a big crowd in Harrisburg today.
Good luck with the call. Have fun.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
That's Jeffrey Draege, voice of the Harrisburg Bulldogs on WEBQ 1240. You might recognize him from Tuesday night on the expansive election network we put together. He's a news director at our sister station Q106 Wish FM and WMCL as well out of Benton. So that's Jeffrey Draege. We still have Darren Kinnard to come, TV3 sports director. We'll kind of get his thoughts on all of the 4 games. He's seen every team in Southern Illinois that's still alive. So we'll talk to Deuce and Abuse when we come back here on the Saturday Sports Show. You can follow him on Twitter as well. Follow us at WMIX Sports. Plenty of information coming your way. We'll also, over the coming weeks, tell you about how we're going to change the Internet. That's right. Stay tuned to WMIX Sports on Twitter and Facebook and on your radio as well. This is the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
We'll be back after these. Bottom of the hour.
The state of denial is a drag and a trial. When I bought my cheap insurance, should have known this day would come. Now I've had an accident and I'm feeling quite alone. Called them at least 20 times, but they won't pick up the phone. Without personal service, my policy's kind of worthless. Get to a better state, State Farm.
Don't deny yourself to call an agent. Tony Wilt in Mount Vernon, 242-1421.
Hi, I'm Elaine. I've been a nurse with Good Samaritan for many, many years. One of the best things about my job is knowing that I work for a hospital that cares so much about the community. We're dedicated to attracting the best physicians and investing in the most advanced medical technologies. Whether it's radiology, oncology, or advanced heart care, we provide some of the nation's most advanced treatment options right here in Southern Illinois. That way patients never have to travel far from their families to receive the care they need. I'm always happy when families come visit. And starting in 2013, that sort of thing will happen even more. That's when Good Samaritan opens our all-new regional health center. Everything about the new center has been designed with patients in mind. It features all private rooms and family-friendly areas that make it easier for visitors to stay overnight. I can't wait to see what Good Samaritan does with this exciting new facility.
Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, MyWithersRadio.com. Glad to have you with us. Bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Whew. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Something like that. We welcome TV3 Sports Director, WSIL, Darren Kinnard. DK, good morning.
Morning, boys. What's going on?
You know, it seems like we have some high school football in the area today. I don't know. Four teams from Southern Illinois, the 618 area code, in the quarterfinals today, and all four, obviously every game at this level should be a great game, but all four appear to be great games today.
Yeah, when you look at it, the matchups look outstanding, and you know, and you start down at the bottom, you know, just with Althoff and with Casey Westfield. I mean, you're talking about a team in the Warriors that just, they are absolutely all about the postseason and had great success. And you know, I was a little curious coming in how Althoff would approach the 2A playoffs as players, and wonder maybe if they were going to just kind of show up and maybe think that they're going to stroll through this bracket because of who they've played in that. And I thought there was a little of that at Chester, and I don't know much about Athens, but you know, I kind of thought maybe there would be a bigger margin of victory there as well. If they come out with that attitude tonight, they'll be packing it in. So
the plan for today, as far as Channel 3 goes, with so many things going on, how do you guys go about picking, choosing, deciding what to cover, who covers, and how it gets covered?
Well, I think that first off, I mean, the three playoff games are they're the bread and butter, and then we try to fit in the other stuff around it. And we kind of, as far as who covers it, with Kelly anchoring the 6 o'clock cast and just looking at time constraints of the schedule, she's going to take care of the Carterville game, and then we pretty much just kind of, you know, leave it up to who wants to go where, or who's better served to go where at what time today. And we're also picking up the cross country national championships at Wren Lake this morning, and then you know, we get some help from some other people sometimes in the news department, and one of our guys, Craig Show, is going to be headed up to Wren Lake this afternoon, actually, to pick up some basketball. So we catch a break a little bit, the fact that Southern football is on a bye and basketball hasn't started yet. Otherwise, this could have been a crazy, crazy day.
Speaking of crazy, we'll go back into football. DuQuoin hosts Camp Point Co-op, fill in the blank with names as they come down the pike. 4.5 hours. A little different trend for DuQuoin as well. A 3A school 27 times in the playoffs, now a 2A. They got to kind of watch themselves, too, kind of not get the big head being a river school playing the 2As, don't they?
I certainly, and here's the other part there that I think that helps in that is the fact that when you're DuQuoin and you're coming off a year that you didn't make the playoffs, I think that helps remove any of that big head stuff. And I know that maybe sounds a little bit contradictory with the whole Althoff thing, and the reason why they were in 2A is because they clearly hadn't won a playoff game in years. But I think there's a big difference also in the fact that with DuQuoin, they've been so close to being 2A for the past 3 or 4 years that I think it's been a little bit of surprise that they've ended up going 3A. But I think that playing the River schedule certainly is a big plus when you get into these playoff situations, and when you look at Bismarck with a team that played primarily a 2A type schedule, and When you look at Camp Point Central, I mean, when you're seeing teams with enrollments of 100 and 160 and things like that, that's quite a bit different than maybe what DeCoin's seeing every week. So you hope that the strength of schedule, if you're DeCoin, is going to play in your factor here.
Moving into your backyard, Carterville plays Greenville today. Greenville, a team that's been a favorite. They're expected to be here, if not farther. Carterville's a team that struggled early, went 0-2, have found themselves late in the season and into the playoffs with a big win last week against Benton. Is this Carterville team primed and ready to get an upset win today at home?
Well, I think this one may be the most entertaining game of the day. I'll put a little asterisk on that. Is if you like offense, this will be the most entertaining game of the day, because I think that it's going to take at least 40 to win. Just because I think that both these teams are just outstanding offensively. Carterville, they play a lot of guys that there's not a lot of seniors, and so when you open up with a pretty good Benton team and a really good St. Joe Ogden team, you know, I don't guess it was terribly surprising that they went 0-2. But I know there were some people that were really concerned, and you know, you're wondering which way this season's going to go, especially after missing out on the playoffs last year. But they were able to kind of get their feet underneath them, hammering Salem in week 3, and outside of the loss to DeCoin in the Mississippi, they had a real good run through the conference, and you could really see this team starting to gain some confidence. And a lot of their skill players are all juniors, and so this is all great experience for them. And then all of a sudden you kind of catch lightning in a bottle, and wow, you're playing in the quarterfinals with a chance to go to the Final Four. So they really have gotten going, and the big thing that has helped them out in the final, I would say the final 4 or 5 ball games, is that their defense has just come up with a ton of turnovers, and they got 6 or 7 of them in the first half against Anna, and that train has really kept rolling throughout the playoffs. They got 4 against Vandalia, had 5 last week against Benton. So whenever you can get that, and you hear coaches say it all the time, and it's not just that coach speak. When you can get turnovers and you avoid the turnovers, you're going to have an awful good chance to win. Moving east on Route 13, a Harrisburg team with a lot of veterans, a lot of success in multiple sports. Another home game, 3rd one in a row in the playoffs, hosting an Alton Marquette team, opposite of Althoff, playing up in Class 4A. What do you see in this matchup? Well, I think that the big key today for Harrisburg, and we've seen it 3 or 4 times here towards the end of the season, is that they have been able to use that great big offensive line, and they've just been able to grind on teams. And they're going to have to grind on Marquette today, because this is a team that is explosive. They've only scored less than 42 points, I think, twice this entire season. So they are a team that is going to come in here and want to really just run up and down the field on Harrisburg. And I think that it's a game that if Harrisburg's able to run the ball and eat up that clock like they did in a game such as Benton, where the Rangers really they only had their hands on the ball twice, I think, the entire second half, or so it seemed like, and really kind of put them behind the 8 ball. And if Harrisburg can do that, they're going to have a real good shot of winning. And the one thing that you notice in the teams that Marquette has played, the teams that have been good or had a good record, they've scored some points on them, and so I think that's going to play in Harrisburg's favor. And the other thing that's going to be a factor in all these games is the wind. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be just an incredibly windy day. And so That's going to make a big difference. You know, the way the fields sit, and you know who wins the toss, and things like that. And you look at Harrisburg; they're equipped to, you know, just ground chuck it, and you know that would probably be this would be a great day to do that, I would think.
So, using some Twitter speak here, did @forecaster act as Debbie Downer again, or did he give you a positive forecast for today?
That was the hashtag thumbs up, hashtag hold onto your hat was the Twitter speak from @forecaster, because and this is you know, when you talk about you hear windy or whatever, that type of thing, but you know these are going to be sustained winds all day and from the south. And you know, you take for example, way Carterville's field set up is going to be one direction. You're going to have a 20-25 mile an hour wind at your back, and the other direction you're going to be facing it. So and then you know, you maybe have other fields where it's going to be a crosswind. So it's going to make the passing game maybe the great equalizer. Say Greenville, the way they like to chuck it around. That's going to be a big advantage, I would think, for Carterville, and the fact that they're, you know, maybe going to have to be able to put an extra guy in the box and make them try to throw it into this wind. And so it'll be it's going to, I would also suspect, play havoc with kicking games. And you know, again, on that Carterville-Greenville matchup, I was able to see some of the AJ Greenville first round game, and Greenville's punt game was atrocious. And I think part of that is they just, you know, they just aren't used to punting, and then they were bad when they did it. And so now, how are you gonna execute into a 25 mile an hour wind and all those things that go along with that? So I think that it'll be interesting to see how these teams adjust to the weather. But from a reporter standpoint, I'm just ecstatic it's not raining.
Exactly.
I could care less about the rest.
I got to ask this last question. Of course, we kind of stray off the path with our WMIX Sports social media question of the week, and it's with Thanksgiving coming up, we're taking some time to dedicate to Thanksgiving. And this week's question is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Favorite desserts? Well, there's not many that I turn away, and clearly, if you know me, you can you'll vouch for that. I think that you know, if you're going to go Thanksgiving, I think you got to be traditional, and I'm a big fan of the pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, and that being said, that's about the only time of the year that I will take. You know, I'm not a big pumpkin pie fan otherwise, but being a traditionalist, I think you got to go pumpkin pie. But if somebody were to slide a cheesecake out there, I certainly you don't think that'd be a bad avenue to choose either.
You ever had pumpkin cheesecake?
You know, one of my favorite things is a pumpkin roll. That's awfully good. I don't know if I've had a pumpkin cheesecake though. That might be.
Make that your mission. It is amazing.
That might be the piece de resistance right there. So.
There we go. DK, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
All right, guys. Take care.
That is Darren Kinnard, TV3 Sports Director. Of course, Sports Extra do a fine job with that, and just a good dude to know, I guess, is just the best way to phrase it. Just a great, down-to-earth human being, and love DK. Think the world of him. He's on Twitter @Deuce. It's just @DeuceAbuse, right?
I believe. I can look it up here shortly.
Yeah. We're at WMIX Sports. Of course, we retweet a lot of his stuff and vice versa. Uses a lot of the same hashtags and whatnot. You can follow us on Twitter there, and find us on Facebook as well. WMIX Sports Question of the Week on the social media. Thanksgiving in mind. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? Participate in the discussion. We'll give you our answers after the break and talk some more sports here on the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Select a checking account that pays you interest. People's National Bank introduces People's Select Checking. It has all the services you have come to expect from People's National Bank. Unlimited check writing, Visa check card, online banking, and bill pay. And you can earn 0.17 annual percentage yields on balances over $1,000. Visit me at 413 South 34th Street to start earning interest on your checking account.
People's National Bank, member FDIC, $100 to open. Rate may change after account opening. APY is accurate as of October 16, 2012. Fees could reduce earnings on account. Non-usage fees may apply.
When is the last time you looked at the gas prices and thought, I could always pay a little more? Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ford dealer, Ford Square, Mount Vernon. We are all tired of the song and dance of high prices at the pump. So how about we party with fuel economy of a 2013 Ford Fiesta? Right now, you'll find a Fiesta 4-door with an automatic transmission ready to go with 39 miles per gallon highway and for less than $15,000 plus tax, title, and license. Your pocketbook wins twice, saving out the door and at the pump. Wow. Come see one of our sales reps for a Ford Fiesta or any Ford Lincoln vehicle, new or pre-owned, at Ford Square in Mount Vernon, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or visit us online at fordsquare.com. And don't forget to find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show. Yes, I knew the mics were on. It's all good. We're presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
So the question of the week is, on social media, WMIX Sports, of course, Twitter and Facebook. Pretty well. You know what? You look up WMIX Sports. That's pretty well going to take you wherever you need to go.
Right.
And we'll elaborate more on that as the weeks come. But we want to know, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dessert? Next week we might just have another Thanksgiving-related social media question.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is pumpkin cheesecake from a specific place. I won't name that place. They don't pay me any money. So pumpkin cheesecake is mine. Going back as a kid, I never really was a big pumpkin pie guy, probably because I can't say it. My Aunt Diane, however, made these fantabulous apple pies. Still makes them, I guess. Amazing. I love those. But pumpkin cheesecake, oh my gosh, is just absolutely, positively phenomenal, and just by far has to be my favorite. Can't go wrong with pumpkin cheesecake. So that's my answer. Pumpkin cheesecake,
Mine
cheesecake.
is angel food cake with a side of Dallas Cowboys football.
Really? The angel food cake? I didn't take you for an angel food cake sort of guy.
Swerve.
I'd say.
As they say in the wrestling business, swerve.
I wonder what crow over there. What
Or
do you?
is someone we
You're
know
a dessert
swerve.
guy. You like the sweets.
Got to go with pumpkin pie. Got to go with pumpkin pie. That's all there is. Love it. Now my question is, pumpkin pie without the dollop of whipped cream, do you eat it with a fork, or you just pick it up and eat it like you would a piece of pizza?
Got to have some manners. You got to use some table manners there.
It's Thanksgiving and it's family. Who cares? Be thankful you have the pie, and don't worry about it. If you have silverware in front of you, be thankful for that. But you know what, though? I don't know. That begs the old question, ice cream with a fork or a spoon?
Depends on how fast you eat.
Yeah.
Fork if you go fast, and spoon if you don't.
I had this debate with somebody before, and no, I was not the fork one.
Well, you'll see.
I was a spoon guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. I know, because there was cake with it. That's why. That's how the debate
the old
came
cake,
up.
ice cream, one thing on a plate deal.
Yeah. Interesting. So we have angel food cake, pumpkin pie, and pumpkin cheesecake. We've had a lot of interesting answers on Twitter. A lot of pumpkin pie. Not surprising, notwithstanding.
Oh, we've had
Ryan
sweet potato pie.
One of the voices of the orphans on Sister Station X95, Ryan Roddy, a recent liker of our Facebook page. He mentioned pumpkin pie. I know that.
Strawberry cheesecake.
Who said that? I forgot.
That was Mr. Andy
Is that Sloan? Because that's how I dropped the pumpkin cheesecake the first time.
Mostly pumpkin pie and pecan pie are winning the battle, as they say.
It's hard to battle that.
Right.
It's not bad. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I can talk food for hours, but apparently we do not have hours to talk food.
We got a course of basketball and football first today.
There's a heap and help in a basketball getting ready to come our way.
Hard and fast. Grade school's already basically a month into the season.
Well, that too. Summersville shootouts this weekend if you want to see some great grade school basketball this weekend. It continues today. In terms of what we're discovering, we did get the pairings for the Lady Rams and Rams Thanksgiving tournaments. We can tell you that on Monday, November the 19th, the Mount Vernon Rams will open their season against the Heron Tigers at 6:30. That will be a 6:15-ish pregame on WMIX FM and online with video, of course, as basketball stream video returns. Lady Rams will open their season on Monday, November 19th. Guess what? Also at 6:30, they'll take on the Oakville Rockettes, otherwise known as the Lady Rockets. That one did not go over in studio. But they'll take on the Oakville Lady Rockets. That'll be on V1047 and V1047.com if you want to listen to Lady Rams basketball to open up the season. So there you go. There's your openers. Of course, we'll talk more about the pairings as we go along. The Pyramid shaping up to be interesting. Of course, East St. Louis was double booked. They will not be making the trip. That pushes the Pyramid Plus to about 5 teams now, which means that every team will get a night off, and there's only 2 games a night.
Right, 2 games a night. Mount Vernon's night off will be Saturday night.
Yeah,
so they'll
works
play
out
Monday,
well for us.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday will be the Rams and their visit to Marion.
Of course, it's Mount Vernon and Heron, I believe, to start it off at 6:30 on Monday, which means that at 8 o'clock that game should be Salem-Marion.
Right.
The Rams will have Marion on Tuesday at 8 o'clock in a South 7 preview game, while Collinsville-Salem will be the lead-in at 6:30. Wednesday it'll be Heron-Collinsville to open it up, followed by Mount Vernon-Salem at 8 o'clock. Friday nights when the Rams are done, they'll take on the Collinsville K-Hawks at 6:30.
That's in the Tradition Heritage game.
Oh, yeah.
The lineage
You betcha.
game.
And then the Bloody Williamson battle between Heron and Marion, the money game, will be at 8 o'clock. Saturday night, the Rams get the night off, 6:30 at Salem-Heron. 8 o'clock, it's Collinsville-Marion. And you can find all of this on the WMIX Sports Facebook page. And, of course, the Nashville Invitational begins with pool play. In one pool, Pool A, you have Collinsville, Massac County, Nashville, and Triad. Ouch. And the other one, you have Freeburg, Mascoutah, Mount Vernon, and Oakville. Of course, the Lady Rams meet Oakville to open up the tournament at 6:30 on Monday the 19th. Again, that game on sister station V1047. 8 o'clock, it'll be Mascoutah, Freeburg. Tuesday night, it'll be Collinsville and Massac County at 6:30, followed by Triad, Nashville. That'll be interesting to open the season for Wayne Hart. We're going to try to catch up with him next week, by the way.
And then
yeah. Yeah, how about that?
Woo! Neil Hammond.
You need to work on that.
If Neil Hammond's listening, there better be Wayne Hardy too.
I guarantee you,
there
Bo
better
Gaddy's
be some
listening.
breakfast or something. Bo Myers cafeteria better be open over there that day.
There'll
too,
be a
or
pound.
something.
I guarantee there's like a pounder of peanut M&Ms sitting there waiting on
that,
everybody.
or the
Pounder bag.
they have cookies they bring in over there in Nashville. The hot cookies.
They take
Ooh.
good care of everybody.
Yeah, that 8:30 start. That, you know what that does,
8:30.
though? So we go 8:30 basketball, golf, weather permitting, basketball that night. All works out great.
Well, 8:30 that Friday morning, and that game will be on AM 940, Mount Vernon, Mascoutah. At 10 o'clock, it'll be Oakville, Freeburg. 11:30, Collinsville, Triad. And at 1, it'll be Massac and Nashville. Evening session, it'll be on AM 940, 4 o'clock, Freeburg, Mount Vernon. At 5:30, Mascoutah, Oakville. Triad, Massac at 7. 8:30, the nightcap, it'll be Nashville, Collinsville. Then the trophy games on Saturday. Depends on where you place in your pool.
It's 3:35, 6:30, and 8.
Yep, you run the gamut.
Run the gambit.
So there you go. Those are your tournaments that the Rams and Lady Rams are in. You can find a full slate of tournaments on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Just look at our newsfeed timeline, and you'll find all the information you need to get you set for the opening of the season. We also did put the Oakville post-Thanksgiving tournament pairings on there. I believe you also put the bracket pairings for the Christopher Turkey
Harrisburg,
tournament.
Christopher, yep.
Waltonville Spartans will get started, as will the Weber Trojans and Wayne City Indians at Christopher on Thanksgiving week. Something I like is that for the most part, we get to see all of our teams rather early in the season this year. We made a better attempt to do that, and we will have a Woodlawn Lady Cardinals game on Monday night. They'll welcome the ZRC Lady Tornadoes. Side Gymnasium, 6:15 is your JV start. We assume we'll be on the air sometime around 7:15, 7:30. WMIX FM audio on mywithersradio.com. Then on Thursday, we head to Wayne County. The Wayne City Lady Indians welcome the Weber Lady Trojans. 6 o'clock pregame, no JV game, 6 o'clock pregame, WMIX FM. Then on Friday night, we will head to Sparta. The Sesser-Valie Waltonville Lady Devils are in action at 7:30. 7:15 will be your pregame, and pardon me, I don't know their opponent. I never wrote it down. Whoops.
We're going to do a game.
We're going to do a game.
Sparta, Trico, Redbud. We'll find out.
I call me Mr. Prepared. How about that? But no, it should be a good week of basketball. Then the week after that, of course, it'll be Thanksgiving week. Busy slate with the Pyramid Plus tournament. We'll do our best to bring you some games from Nashville as well. We'll have all of them, but the Monday night game, that'll be on Sister Station V1047 as far as the Lady Rams are concerned. DC and I will head over Friday morning. Ashley Bites will have the call at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon as we head down to Marion to do the K-Hawks.
I was going
to figure out.
Bevy.
You heard AM and 4.
I heard AM 940, and I'm going 4 o'clock.
Well, I tried to buy the services of Jeffrey Drake, but he's busy with the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, rehearsal. Come on.
It's a Catholic wedding.
Not from experience of attending those. It's pretty well cut and dry what happens. Okay, it's come on.
Yeah. Then on Saturday we'll head over there to do the. Depending on the time with me, you'll be there.
Play Sparta Friday night. SVW and Sparta.
That'll be good. From the
Mr.
friendly
West
confines.
Schote, the principal at Sesser-Valie High School.
Is he still listening?
On his way up to Champaign to the IHSA girls swimming sectionals. Heading to Champaign. So we appreciate him listening. He has heard us all the way.
The power of AM 940.
Yes.
You betcha.
So it's Sparta.
What about Sparta?
That's who SVW plays.
Right.
Okay, good.
Okay, I got you.
All right, yeah.
Sparta at Sparta. In Sparta.
7:30 game.
In spite of.
I got a place we might have stopped before we get there, though.
I bet you do.
I got a food place. It's one of my favorite towns. Going that way.
Can't imagine.
Can't imagine, but I got a spot. I want to try out.
Perry County or Randy County?
It's Perry County, baby.
Randy County.
You know exactly where it's at. Still clear, according to West Schote, all the way up.
That's what we like to hear. Of course, we're also online every week, mywithersradio.com. You can find our archives on there as well. Again, stay tuned. We'll tell you how the Internet is about to change over the next couple of weeks here at WMIX.
Al Gore's coming or what?
I prefer to go the Bill Curtis route.
Okay.
Illinois Broadcast Association Hall of Famer Bill Curtis, no less.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's quite windy outside. It's going to be a windy one down at the heading to the DuQuoin compound.
Quote, unquote, hashtag, hold on to your hat.
Heading to the DuQuoin compound today for the playoff game. Looking forward to that.
Great day of high school football. Of course, DuQuoin, Camp Point, Central, Southeast, West Coast. That'll be at 3 o'clock. Of course, at 2 o'clock, it will be Harrisburg and Alton Marquette. You can listen to that one on WEBQ 1240, our sister station. Jeffrey Drake will have the call, also on WEBQradio.com. 1 o'clock, it'll be Carterville, Greenville on the turf in Carterville behind the old Freds. Yeah. As that'll be going on down there.
That's just a tongue depressor away.
Yeah, it is. Of course, you can always stay up to date for all the information on Twitter at WMIX Sports. You don't have to be on Twitter. You can go to the direct link of twitter.com/WMIX Sports. Same with Facebook. You don't have to be a Facebook member to see what we put on there. It is facebook.com/WMIX Sports as well. We're going to make it easier to access over the course of the coming weeks. Again, we're going to change the Internet, so to speak. So we're looking very, very forward to that. Of course, we're looking very forward to basketball action. Don't forget our first game is Monday night. Woodlawn Lady Cardinals, ZRC Lady Tornadoes. We assume we'll be on there about 7:30 from Sides Gymnasium as we get warmed up for high school basketball. We'll talk some other winter sports over the course of the next few weeks as well as all the others get underway here before you know it. Of course, we hope you'll take the time to respect the veterans. Veterans Day is November 11th officially. That is tomorrow. So the 11th day, 11th month, 11th hour, we hope you'll honor our veterans. Happy Veterans Day. Of course, today is Marines Day as well. We salute all of our soldiers and veterans. This is WMIX Mount Vernon, a free service from Withers Broadcasting, NBC News Now.